Yo, what's going on? We here. We made it. We've made it. Another episode of the one and only Unselfish Behavior Podcast. We here, and we have a very, 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 very special guest in the building. Been knowing her for quite some time. We talking about going on 2 years at this point. The one and only Murph in the building, ladies and gentlemen. You here? She here. What up, Murph? How you feeling? For the people that don't know you, know what you do, know what you stand for, just let them know who you are, a little bit about yourself.
About myself.
Yes, indeed.
I served 12 years in the military.
Okay.
Got out 2015. In the process of getting out, I had started my own brand. Back then, in 2011, called Prodigy Life, which was a street brand.
Gotcha.
That most people don't know about unless they really was following me back then.
Right.
And then in 2016, I started Alani Taylor after my daughter was born, who is Alani Taylor, that a lot of people confuse me with. But we'll get into that a little later. But yeah, I'm just a chill person from New York, man, and yeah.
What part of New York you from?
I'm from the Bronx.
Come on, the Boogie Down Bronx in the building. Look, man, I went to New York this past summer in August, right? For the first time, that is, too. And aside of Brooklyn, because Brooklyn is Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? You're doing all that shit. I was loving it, right? So, but I went to the Bronx, and just the culture felt different, right?
Yeah.
I went to actually a hip hop cipher in the Bronx, right?
Okay, dope.
And I walked in, they was already ciphering, doing their thing. I'm not sure if you know the spot called the Bronx Native.
Nah,
Yeah,
man,
so,
I go home like once or twice a year. So,
okay, got you.
Everything new.
Yeah, I walked into that spot. Shout out to the Bronx Native. You know what I'm saying? Walked up in there, and I just felt immediately a different feel.
Okay.
Right in the Bronx. So
that's new.
Hey, that's a testament to like character, though, right?
I guess
they take their boroughs serious down there in New York.
We do.
For real.
Man, the Bronx is the shitty down Bronx to me. Can we curse on this?
Hell yeah, you can curse on here.
Okay, it's the shitty down Bronx. So that energy that you felt is new.
Because
I don't feel that shit.
For real? Look, I fell in love with it. I don't know if it's because I was from LA and it was different. That's probably what it was.
Yeah,
first
like
time out
you
there.
probably felt some, because we're fast-paced people. We grinders. Like I literally feel like we were born to be street hustlers all day long.
Gotcha.
So if you have that mentality being from another place and you get there, you kind of feel like you at home.
Got you.
So if you like a LA type of person, that's gonna be exciting to you.
Got you.
But for you're a street guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a hustler, so you probably was like, I could do this shit every day.
Yeah, I want to move down there. My first few days down there.
I get that feeling. But other than that, nah, man. I'm in and out. I go see my family. That's it.
Love it. Well, obviously you mentioned, Alani Taylor, your daughter. Right, fashion designer and just all around creative is just how I experience you. You wide range of just creativity to me. Right when I experience you, and it's not just a fashion thing; it's an energy thing. Like you are a vibe. Right. Talk to me a little bit about the inspiration behind your brand, Alani Taylor. Obviously, I know that's your daughter's name. Talk to me a little bit about what inspired you to even want to have your own fashion line and kind of how you started and the story behind that.
Man, I started because I was in the military.
That's a hell of a transition too.
I know,
right?
And that's what people want me to run with. Like you're in the military, or you're from the military, and you're a fashion designer now. But when I was at Fort Hood. Was my last duty station.
Gotcha.
And in Fort Hood, it's in Killeen, Texas, which is small as hell, and they have one mall. Mm-hmm. I went in the mall one day. I don't know if you remember Jimmy Jazz, the store. No, damn, you from LA.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Jazz, they put a Jimmy Jazz in the mall.
Okay.
And when I tell you, everybody in Killeen wore everything off the mannequin.
Come on.
So I went out when I was like younger. I was going to clubs and stuff, and I went out one day and I dead ass seen a guy with the whole mannequin on, and I was like, I can't do this shit, man.
Come on.
I can't. And then at the time it was my fiance, she bought me a sewing machine. I don't know if it was for like Christmas or our anniversary or whatever, and every day I would leave from work, I would come home on the weekend and teach myself how to sew.
Sewing machine.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So every weekend I taught myself how to sew, and I would start with like just ripping t-shirts apart and putting pockets and sleeves and stuff.
Gotcha.
And I started making like snapback hats when snapbacks started coming out.
Gotcha.
Changing the brim and all that, and people was catching on to it and wanting to buy it. So me being from New York. I'm like, shit,
yeah, we
I can
slanging
make money.
We slanging these motherfuckers straight up.
I'm like, so that alone, I was just like, because I had deployed and I was still sewing deploying. I was making like the soldier sweatsuits that wasn't in the PX stores and shit.
Exclusives.
So I was making money like I didn't know I could making clothes. So at that time, I wasn't in love with fashion at all. Like I just was doing it as a hustle. And fast forward, I don't know if I was just playing around because I did fashion shows and all that. I don't know if I was playing around with it at that time because it was just for me to survive. I was like an E4 in the military at the time. Okay. And then fast forward, 2016, me and my wife at the time had our daughter. Gotcha. We named her Alani Taylor Murphy.
Beautiful.
And it was just taking our initials and giving her a name with our first initials. And then I was just like, man, like that's catchy. Like it's elegant. It's powerful.
That's right.
So that's where I feel like God kind of transitioned me into going away from streetwear to high fashion.
There we go.
Cause I hated making women's clothing, and I know hate is a strong word, but I hated it. Yeah. Like I'm a male designer. Like I've designed for men's bodies, and I was forced into making females' clothes.
Got you.
So I went to school to the Art Institute because I was like, nothing that I do, I want to be mediocre at.
That's right.
So I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it the right way. I taught myself how to sew, but I know I was missing a lot of the education that came with being a designer, a seamstress, a sewer, whatever you want to call it. So I went and pursued my fashion degree and my bachelor's in fashion.
Love it.
And got my bachelor's, and since then it's been gravy. Like,
wow.
I can't complain, man.
How long have you been in it? How many years?
Shit, 11 years
11 years. And at what point in your journey did you really start seeing that transition from, you know, obviously I'm doing this, I'm learning how to do it, I'm, you know, baby stepping my way, I'm seeing some progress, but you at a space now to where you connected with a lot of different communities, a lot of different people, right? That the average person or the person that's kind of like starting off in the fashion industry may not have access to. At what point in your journey within these 11 years did you really start to see a transition towards like, yo, I'm really in a room with so-and-so?
After Beyonce. Like, after
you did that red dress for her, right?
Yes,
man. I saw that.
Me and Brittany.
How long ago was this? I'm sorry.
This year.
This is, and I emphasize this.
When Lion King came out.
Heavy. I emphasize this so heavy, especially for the listeners, because I'm so big on patience. I'm super, super big on patience. So we're talking about the creator of Alani Taylor not seeing that transition over to the next level on this level where we at now,
right,
for over 10 years. Of putting in work.
And
right?
It's crazy.
Talk about that.
So I have my own brand called Alani Taylor.
Yep.
And then I have my business partner, my best friend, Brittany Duet. She created Deviant LaVie.
Shout out Brittany.
And we kind of started it together. Like the way that we met was crazy. Just to give a fast story of that, she wanted to leave LA and I wanted to come to LA.
Gotcha.
And as she was packing up to leave here, I was packing to come here.
Got you. Come on.
And one of our friends, Krissa Ace on Instagram, she reintroduced us. Me and Britt had met 5 years ago.
Okay.
I styled one of her ex-girlfriends at the time when I was living in Texas.
Love it.
And then we met again, and I'm like, I know her already. So she kind of brought me into what her ideas was. Nobody could really bring her ideas to life.
Right.
She showed me what she wanted to do. I knew that I can do it, but it was more so like she wanted to do latex lingerie and all that. And it just wasn't my thing. It wasn't my aesthetic.
Gotcha.
So I handed it off to someone who was working for me.
Gotcha.
Because I still wanted to see Britt succeed. I just couldn't succeed with you at the time.
Got you.
And God was like, nah, that's not how this is about to go. And I just was like, all right, let's do it. We stayed together for over 3 months or so.
Okay.
I got here July 4th. August 8th is when we started really heavy hitting it. By November, Thanksgiving, 2017, Thanksgiving, we had launched Deviant. So from there, mind you, 2017, bro, I was already doing fashion for almost 10 years or so.
Almost, yep.
And then so 2017, we launched Deviant, and I knew like what she had was powerful. Britt didn't see it at the time. I'm like, yo, you're doing something that ain't nobody ever seen. And I feel like I spoke the success of what we have into existence for the both of us, because Britt, she's so talented and so creative that she can create something amazing and just be like, all right, what else we gonna do?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so she's already on to the next thing, and I'm still sitting here like
amazed.
What the hell?
Right.
So I was like, yo, this person's gonna rock the clothing. A year later, 17 months or 19 months, my bad. 19 months later, Beyonce picks it up.
Come on.
Now, Tyra Banks, Tiffany Haddish, Black China, all these other celebrities had already wore the clothing, the Deviant. Because it's ropes. Like, if people don't know, follow Deviant LaVie.
Gotcha.
But if you haven't seen it, it's ropes made into garments. So it's wearable art. So that alone was our ticket to success, I would say. It hadn't, and this is crazy where you have to know yourself and know what God is doing and what the universe is doing. My success had nothing to do with Alani Taylor. It had to do with me believing more so in Britt and her art that got Alani Taylor noticed. So I always tell her, I'm like, yo, you remember like Miami Heat when LeBron came? Before that, Wade was the superstar.
That's right.
When LeBron came, Wade had to say, listen,
that's right,
I want a championship, you know what I'm saying? And I got to step back and play my role until I'm needed. That's how I looked at Alani Taylor and Deviant. Not that Alani Taylor wasn't doing well, because we were.
I got you.
But Deviant was on everybody. We was putting that shit on everybody. So I'm like, I got to be Wade in this. Yes, I have this brand and I'm doing it for my daughter, but this is also what's going to feed my kid. So I took a step back from Alani Taylor at one point, and then started heavily doing Deviant. And like I said, in 19 months after us launching Deviant, Beyonce picks it up for the Lion King video, legendary. And what me and Britt both wanted in life, like what we felt like was us being successful, was designing for Beyonce.
Wow.
Britt just had that. Like, she wanted to be a designer, always wanted to design for Beyonce. I have a prayer box where I put my prayers inside my box, and I sit it by my window. And right before I moved to LA, I had like 15 prayers in my box that I was sending out to the universe. By the time I got here, I had accomplished every single one of them. And one day I looked in it to say, like, where am I? You know what I'm saying?
At with it? Yeah.
The last thing I needed to do was design for Beyonce. It was in there, bro. And I didn't even tell Britt until after. You know what I'm saying?
B, you don't like me clapping, but I got to do what I got to do.
So
yes, sir.
After that, I told Britt, like, yo, you know, the prayer box that I have, like, this was the last thing that I needed to accomplish for me to say I've succeeded on everything that I ever put my mind to and what I put in the universe. And then she was like, I always wanted to. So we designed for her, and then we created this amazing company called the Zenith Experience, which was the first event that we had on October something. I don't remember. That's messed up.
Yeah.
But it came from Beyonce. From Beyonce, we got Cardi B.
I saw that too.
From Cardi B, we got Beyonce again, which y'all will see it coming soon.
Come on.
But yeah, man, that was how we, like, because people think that being successful, you got to be rich, you got to be wealthy.
Talk about
my
that.
success comes from when I put goals out there to the universe and I accomplish every single one of them.
Absolutely.
So right now in my career, I feel, well, I know I'm in my pinnacle. And well, you know, we have 4 pinnacles. I'm in my second pinnacle, but I've reached the highest point of my success. And now both of us are trying to figure out what the hell else is there out there for either one of us to accomplish, you know. So we're going backwards. Like, we picked up Cash Doll, She wore it. Just different people who now, once you get Beyonce, bro,
it's game over.
It's
game over.
And it's crazy because me and Britt was like, nah, we're not celebrity designers at all. Like, we just design for celebrities. But when Beyonce,
that's undeniable.
we was like, okay, listen, man,
we here.
Where's my blue check?
Straight
bro?
up.
You know what I'm saying?
Murph, talk to me, nigga.
But no, so after that, we had to own it, you know, because
we are who we
words is powerful.
That's right.
And even talking to you a year ago, we figured that out. Words are powerful, bro.
That's right.
And we were just like, this is the success that we want. Like, we have to start speaking that on ourselves. And now that's how people look. Like, we're celebrity designers and I own it.
And I talk to people about that all the time. It takes a certain type of courage to even speak your life in order to even attempt to speak your life into existence.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain level of crazy that comes with that. When you're telling your close friends and your family at this level, yo, one day I'm gonna be designing for Beyonce.
Right.
And I talk to my girl all the time, and I'm like, one day on this motherfucking podcast, I'm gonna be looking across from the same people that I admired so much, like Gary Vee, Eric Thomas, Inky Johnson, Les Brown.
E.T.
Stop playing with me. Like, he's gonna be in this room right here, and I'm gonna be talking to him like, bro, I knew like this was written.
Right.
This was written. I was speaking this. It's on the record. Like, all of this is already written.
Right.
My only job is to stay committed to the process, right?
Absolutely.
It's to stay committed through the ups and the downs. And a lot of people want the success, and they always look at the trophy aspect of success.
Mm-hmm.
But in doing that, you bypass all of the work, all the hardship, all the sacrifice that comes with the actual process in order to get there.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your process. I want to know about your failures. I want to know about your sacrifices. I want to know about the times where you've been constantly rejected. I want to know about the moments when your family members have told you this ain't gonna work out. I want to know about those moments. Like, I feel like the inspiration in hearing these stories and hearing you get to the Beyonce level, the inspiration in that lies in those aspects of the story. Talk to the people a little bit about that for you.
One thing I can say, and that I'm so blessed to have in my life, is people who believe in me.
Come on.
I have never in my life, and I think because since I was 5, I would, and this is bad. Since I was 5, like we lived in the projects with my mom. Like, my mom was on drugs. My dad was locked up from the time I was like 8 months old. My uncles and aunts was on drugs. So me and my brothers, we had to get it for ourselves most of the time.
Yep.
And I would steal from the candy store, and I would go to the next corner and sell that shit to make money. Everybody around me knew I was a hustler. So for people, no one could ever be like, you'll never make it. Everybody looked at me and was like, that's somebody who's gonna make it.
Absolutely.
We're just waiting
Facts.
for when.
Facts.
So I can't say that I have a story like that, but I do have the story where sacrifice has definitely been a part of my life. Like, I've sacrificed my freedom, I sacrificed my life, I've sacrificed my family. Like, I was that kid, like, growing up, I was molested from the time I was 2 years old to I was 16 by multiple different men.
Wow.
So somebody like that, like, being in that environment every single day of your life, like, you will fold. But I always knew that, like, there was something that God wanted me to do, and he was not done with me yet at all, even still today. So I learned to be resilient, you know, like, I learned to be that kid that I had to make my own way. I had to be the person to pat myself on the back.
Right.
I had to be that person to say, you're going to make it. Don't give up. Like, even I think I was 11 years old. I tried to commit suicide because I was being molested, bro. Like,
that's traumatic.
And like, even when my family found out, like, it was, you know, and it's crazy in the African community, African American community, that's the norm. Because it's like a family tree type of thing where all the women are being molested. So to them, it's like, what the fuck can we do?
They push it aside.
Exactly. My mom was molested, my aunts and all that. So I couldn't look to other people and be like, I need help, you know?
Right.
So I learned to just be this person that at one time I had a cold heart. But moving forward, becoming a designer is hard. It's a hard place to be in. It's a hard community to be involved in. And even starting a business, period, like, you have difficult. To sacrifice some shit.
Major sacrifice.
And I sacrificed time. I sacrificed love. I sacrificed my kid at some points in time, because after my daughter was born, I had tunnel vision that I never want her to be where I was or grow up the way that I did with nothing. So I would forget that I even had a family because I was chasing success for her. You know what I'm saying? I want to leave something behind that if I die today, my daughter's good. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to be like, oh, how are we going to pay for this and that, which I had to do when my grandmother's died. I had to pay for it. And luckily I was in the military. But my biggest loss and my biggest sacrifice was I lost my wife. And it was all me, you know what I'm saying? And it was because I forgot about her. I was so deep into making sure that this brand was gonna win, so that my daughter was good. I named it after her. So I totally forgot about my wife. For almost a year, she was unhappy. I didn't care at the time. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, listen, I didn't move to LA to live paycheck to paycheck, and I didn't move to LA to just sit on my ass. I came here to make a future for our kid, and we were just on two different pages. You know what I'm saying? And she had to leave for me to grow, for me to understand, like, I had to become mature enough to have balance in my life, to be able to have a family and run a business. That's but right. Sometimes that's not always possible. Right. And I feel like you have to have a strong ass person behind you. And at the time, she had just lost her mom. She was adopted, and she lost her mom, her real mom.
So she was going through it.
So she wasn't strong. So that on top of watching your spouse walk out the door every day and not pay attention to you was like, it was bad for her. And Facts. At that time, I can give two shits. And I think about it every day because I don't have my daughter. I don't have my wife anymore. She moved to Atlanta to live better and be happy. You know what I'm saying? Right. And now I have to, half of the year, I have to watch my daughter grow up on FaceTime, you know? By the time she got to me this month, my daughter can talk. She's potty trained, all that. She can walk. Crazy. She's in preschool. I missed all of it. Because they left when she was just turning 2. So that's my biggest sacrifice that I've had as a designer. Like, that's the only one I give a shit about. Anything else, if someone was to say you're not going to make it, that doesn't faze me. But to know that I lost my family and I can't see myself like getting it back, that it's hard to do it, man. Wow. It's so hard to do it.
I just want to hear you keep talking. Like, I'm over here like, you know, I think this is going to be the first podcast, BV, to where your boy over here crying. But hear what I'm saying. It's important for people to hear that side of it.
Absolutely.
I think because, you know, I relate to it heavy. When you knew me, I'm not sure if you knew that I was dealing with homelessness.
Nah.
That's why I was living with Dork.
No, I didn't.
Right. So, you know, I was dealing with homelessness all of 2018 and half of 2017. That was intentional. That was on purpose. I was living in a 2-bedroom townhouse. My story and how I even got where I'm at today on my journey, right? And being able to travel, being able to impact and inspire people on a multitude of different levels. It came from me going on another level of sacrifice that I didn't even know was possible for me. And that was me intentionally getting outside of the things that I was most comfortable at, right? And for me, living in that house by myself, being single, I lost my mind. I was completely outside of my purpose and the things that I loved to do. Like, I was clubbing every single weekend. I had just bought a brand new car. I was making good money every other week. Like, I was straight, but I was comfortable. And I would come in that house every day and I would look at this big ass living room and upstairs, downstairs. My daughter finally got her own room. Like, I always wanted my daughter to have her own room. She got a big ass room, balcony in her room, the whole nine. And I'm sitting in there every day feeling unfulfilled. Dude. Feeling like something is missing. And what was missing was me feeling like I'm walking in my purpose. I'm not like I'm going to a 9-to-5 job every day to get this money. Like, I'm not utilizing my gift. I'm not utilizing what God placed me on this earth for. So the money don't mean nothing. The house don't mean nothing. My daughter having her own room don't mean nothing. Like, none of this means nothing if I don't feel like I'm being used for what I was sent down here for. And I think that's very important for people to understand. Every single person was sent down here to accomplish something. And I was just telling my queen on the way here, a lot of the times, if not all the time, I do feel a huge part of me feels like all of the time, God will place a mission in your life, and it's usually centered around making other people better. Right. It's usually along the lines of servicing other people. Right. So gifts are not meant to be honed. They're meant to be shared. So when he gives us the gift, we're meant to share it. That's why I always open my videos and I say, it's your man, King Q. I got something on my heart. And if I don't share it, I'm selfish.
Got you.
Right. So that's where that comes from. But I made that sacrifice, and I'm talking about, like, timing couldn't be any worse. And when I made that decision to quit my job and to leave that place, because my daughter, she was starting her first semester of her new school. Guess where the school was, Murph? Across the street from my new spot where we living at. Like, directly across the street. Open the door, I can walk my daughter to school across the street. Like, what? I can get what? I could do that? So I sacrificed all of that in order to experience my gift on another level.
Yeah.
And that came with me having to experience something I never even thought I would ever experience in my life, which was being homeless and sleeping on people's couches and sleeping on people's floors and sleeping in cars. And like I went through that whole process for a year and a half. And what happened is it birthed new characteristics about myself that I didn't have before I was homeless. It birthed a new level of confidence inside of me to where I felt like I can accomplish literally anything. I just got through all that shit. I just got through sleeping at people's houses with roaches the size of this motherfucking Dasani. like I got through that shit for 3 months. Like these niggas is crawling on me literally while I'm sleeping. And all that I'm thinking about is this dream and these visions that I have in my head of me being in these stadiums and me holding seminars to where I literally see thousands and thousands of people in my head and me performing abroad and traveling to different countries. And like I see this stuff in my head. So that was the driving force behind the sacrifice. And so what you said is so relevant and so relatable to me because I've experienced that as well. And I think it's very important for people to understand. Manifestation, in my opinion, has 5 different steps. Can we talk about it? 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 So I love this manifestation conversation because people got manifestation fucked up. I'm gonna say that one more time. People got manifestation fucked up. You're looking at 2 people right here that did not only speak things into existence in their lives, on not only on a business level, but on a personal level.
Right.
But you don't speak something into existence by saying and affirming you want something and going home and eating a hot dog and watching TV. And a lot of people got it fucked up to where it's like, I'm going to speak it into existence. Manifestation is me speaking it into existence and then waiting for it to fall out the sky. No, sir. No, sir. You got steps. So the first step, we here?
Yeah.
She's smiling. Look, we here. I got Murph in the building. Look, these are the steps for me and what's worked for me in my life, Murph. Manifestation. The first step to manifestation is the speaking aspect of it. That is probably one of the most powerful steps to the law of manifestation and the law of attraction, right? The second step is the visualization. If you can't see it, it will never manifest. You have to actually see it. It has to be real in your mind. You have to like hear the audience and hear the crowd and right. So right after that, you got speaking, you got visualization, and then you have the actual you have to feel it.
Yes, sir.
It's a feeling. Yeah. So frequencies are activated off of feelings, emotion. So while you're viewing it and while you're seeing it in your mind, it has to be like bringing an actual charge to you as though it's here already, as though it's already present. It's not something that you're chasing or attaining. You can't manifest something by thinking it's going to happen in 10 years. You manifest something by knowing it's here now.
Right.
Come on now. We talking that shit. We talking that talk, right? So manifestation, we talking about speaking it into existence. We're talking about now visualizing it into existence. We're talking about feeling it into existence. And now check this step out right here. Check out step number 4, being it. That's one of the most hardest things to do, especially when the money ain't actually in your account. But now you have to be what it is that you know you already are. You got to live as though you already know that that's who you are. This is who I was called to be. This is the type of lifestyle I was called to live. So now I have to be that in certain situations. And what that is that translates to you knowing, not only knowing your value and your worth, but demanding it.
Right.
Not allowing people to pay you pennies for something that you know is worth billions.
Right.
Right. So boom. And then the 5th step of the law of attraction and manifestation is the trusting aspect of it, right? So now you have you got the 4 steps in line, but what ends up happening is you'll draw back on it when you see that the money ain't coming in,
right? And
you'll get discouraged and you'll stop trusting everything that you know is already written for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit about that. I want to talk to you. You mentioned speaking things into existence multiple times while you was talking, and that caught my ears right up, like caught my attention immediately. Talk to me a little bit about some testimonies that you have in your life where you've had instances to where you've either wrote something down aside of the Beyonce thing. We got that. Talk to me a little bit more in depth about certain situations and aspects in your life to where you've experienced the law of attraction in a way to where it like blew your mind. Like, holy shit. I was just talking about this. I actually wrote this down, or right? Talk to me about those instances.
I have a Facebook video that I looked at like 2 days ago.
Come on.
And Lena Waite, she's a producer,
I'm already
actor.
Knowing. I'm in her DM.
I freaking love her. She's amazing. But I was still in Texas at the time, or maybe I was here. No, I was here in LA.
Yeah.
And I wrote down in my prayer box that I just wanted to design for a female celebrity in LA. And I was talking to one of my friends, Krissa. Krissa was on an Instagram post with Lena, and I was like, dude, you lucky as hell. I'm jealous or whatever. And on that Instagram post, we were like, your time is coming, pretty much is what Krissa said. And I went and I started talking to my friends, and I'm like, bro, I'm going to design for her. Like, I'm going to design something. I don't know what it is or whatever.
I'm going to design for her.
Literally, bro, like a week or so, maybe less, I get an email from Lena Waite's assistant, and I had just posted something on my Instagram, and her assistant was like, hey, Lena saw this on your Instagram and she wants to buy it.
Wow.
Which was even crazier because celebrities don't buy shit.
Yeah, you hit me up to purchase some shit?
She was like, she wants to buy this, and that. So not only did that happen, we scheduled for me to actually meet her in the same week.
Wow.
Now, I'm never thinking, like, how the hell can me and Lena be in the same room?
Right.
And yes, it was in my head that I'm going to design for her. I knew I would because I'm in LA. You know, my shit is dope. Can't lie.
Right. That's facts.
And so I got to go to her house, and I had to be a cool New Yorker.
Straight up.
And I get to her crib, and I'm like calm as fuck, but inside
you going crazy.
Oh my
like,
God,
yo, I'm
bro.
in here like this. Come on.
I was literally like at her crib, and it was so crazy because you would never think she lived where she lived at the time. I don't know if she still lives in that place, but it was a regular spot, literally like right downstairs from a Mexican restaurant. But when you go in the house, it's like, wow. Beautiful. But when you walk out, you're like, wow, again, because the neighborhood.
Right.
And that's one thing that I respected about her, because she never lost herself.
Love it.
Like, she stayed true to who the hell she was.
It shows in her work too.
Right. So I had even more respect for her.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, so the day that I met her, I'm bringing every fucking thing I got now. So I show her all the pants that I had made, the ones that she liked. I show her tons of other ones.
Wow.
And I got on Facebook, and I was like, the day I got the email, I just was on Facebook, and I was like, yo, manifestation is fucking powerful. And I had like probably like a whole 30-minute video with a testimony, like, this is what happened or whatever. And that has happened multiple times. The whole Tiffany Haddish thing. When I first moved here, I was like, I'm gonna design for you and we gonna get rich. She came to my school, got measured and everything, and I didn't design for her for Alani Taylor, but she wore Deviant. So again, you gotta know, like, even though you don't have success with what you've been grinding for, when one door closes, others open, and you never know. But also going back to what you said about the feeling of manifesting, which is step 4. People don't understand what that shit mean either, because the feeling is not just I vision it, I feel it, then I gotta trust it. No, that feeling stage is when you gotta actually be in the works.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just feel and be like, oh man, I'm a millionaire. No, you gotta be working to get to that millionaire status. And that's, I feel like, for me, and that's just me personally, because everybody has their own opinions. That feeling for me means me being in the trenches.
That's right.
And that's where I'm going to get my feeling from, to work with the universe and work with God to say, okay, you did what you did. 10 years in the making, I've been in that feeling. And now they're like, all right, man, we've been playing with you long enough.
Come on.
Here you go,
It's
bro. Here you go. You can have it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You did a lot of work.
You done sacrificed.
So that's another thing people need to understand. Like, yes, we got to speak and believe things, but you also got to put in the work, bro. You got to put in the work, and with that work, you got to trust it. Like, you got to trust that this is going to get me where I need to go with the visions that I have and all that. Like, it's important. It's important, because I wouldn't have never got Lena if I wasn't making clothes.
That's right.
You know? So if I'm trying to be one of the biggest designers out there, I got to keep designing.
That's
I got to keep. Britt was leaving the crib today, and she's like, what you doing? I'm like, making pants. And she was like, for who? For nothing.
For nothing.
Like, I just got a vision in my head.
I'm locked in.
I don't know who's going to see these on Instagram and buy them. You know,
right.
I just got to keep on designing. Like, my goal is I want to get at least 10 NBA players this year. The season started.
Just started.
You know, I'm on 3 right now. I need 7 more, and I got to go get it.
Love it.
So that's my next goal for the rest of 2019 is to hit them NBA players, because you ain't gonna get what I got.
Come on,
you know
now.
what I'm saying?
You
like,
better hit them up.
So yeah,
it's exclusive. I'm proud of you. It's a true testament to hard work. I think people run from the work.
Yeah.
They run from the work. People want it to be as easy as speaking it, seeing it, and feeling it. But no, you have to put the work in. You have to be, and guess what? Not just putting the work in, but you have to love what you do enough to keep doing it, even when the money is not coming in. Right? Like that process is like, yo, I'm doing this shit. I'm enjoying it. But my bank account is negative than a motherfucker right now. But I believe in it so much that I can never stop.
Right.
I can never stop. Right. And that's when you know you're walking in alignment with your purpose, right?
I tell people all the time, if I wanted to make money, fashion wasn't it. Like,
this ain't it.
If I was doing this for money, I would have quit a long time ago. I've been broke so many times.
Got you.
I've been broke to where I cried because I couldn't pay for my daughter's daycare by myself. I had to call my best friend and be like, yo, I'm working. And she will always be there because she see how hard I work. Yeah. So I've been there. Even still now, yes, we have success, but the Zen experience, we spent 12 G's on that.
Yeah,
me and Britt.
Still working.
You know what I'm saying? So we're not rich as hell. We just love what we do.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We just waiting for the money to catch up.
And it's not work. It's not work when you love what you do.
Right. Yeah. We love what we do. We're having fun. You know what I'm saying? We're getting the recognition that we deserve. Eventually that time where somebody be like, well, I feel like we have that time. We have multiple different offers for department stores and things like that. That's in the works for both brands.
Yep.
You know, we have an investor. He's just waiting for us to give him a business plan. And we want to take our time with that. So I feel like we put in the work and still putting in the work every day, you know what I'm saying, so that we can get what we deserve.
Absolutely.
For sure.
The last thing before we close out, I think it's important to touch on is how important is it to have people around you that believe in you before the glow up, if you will, happens, right? So for example, I got this brother right here, B Visuals, that literally has been believing in me since he literally met me. I connected with my brother right here through a mutual teacher that we had. I had him in 9th grade. I'm not sure how long he had him, but Mr. Edwards. And Mr. Edwards was another dude that believed in me right when he heard me speak at 14 years old and put me in position to, explore that. Dope. But this brother has not wavered. He has not changed. He has not switched up at all, ever. He's been one of the most solid people in my life.
That's dope.
But I was just asking him the other night, we was cutting up footage, and I'm working, what was that, yesterday? 2 days ago? 2 days ago, and we in a hotel, just cutting up footage. He has a laptop, I got a laptop, and we're working on cutting up footage, but I'm thinking in my head, yo, he don't have to be here.
Right.
This is 12 o'clock at night.
Right.
My man got a whole woman at the house. But he believes in the dream so much to where it's we sacrificing sleep, bro. So I remember asking, bro, I remember telling him, bro, I appreciate you, my man. I really genuinely appreciate the fact that you are putting the work behind the belief. You know what I'm saying? And that makes me want to go even harder.
Right.
Because I'll be damned if I let you down. You've been investing in me, bro, 11 years now.
Yeah.
I'll be damned, bro. So it's we believe in the vision. How important is it for you or for anybody that's pursuing a dream to have a team of people around them? My queen as well, just another person that's solid through the trenches, a nigga be going through it.
I know she over there recording and shit.
Right.
All I got is my water bottle on my seat.
But you know how it is when you going through it and it's damn, I ain't got the bread right now. Damn, we can't go out this weekend. Dude. Damn, I can't do this. I can't, I'm struggling to put gas in my car. And it's I still got you. You still solid with me.
Man.
How important is that? How important is that? What
That's
that look like?
Some unique shit right there. Because this world that we in today, you don't have too many of those left. It's going instinct, or is that the word?
That's extinct. Bruh. Absolutely. That's facts.
Of loyal people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On some animal type shit. They're all dying.
Yeah.
And to find someone who believe in you, probably sometimes more than you believe in yourself, is rare.
That's real.
I have a good 2 people.
That's real.
Dead ass. My best friend Alicia. It don't matter what's going on. If I say, Alicia, I need $1 million, bro, I'm going to go crazy. She will try to find it. She will try to find a way. And not even just money. You know what I'm saying? This girl, at times, she just call me and be like, you're great. Keep Love pushing. It. You're a winner.
You on the right
don't
track.
Let no, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I have her. I have Britt. I have Octavia. I have quite a few people, but to say like long term, she's been rocking with me. And how you said it makes you want to go harder. Alicia, outside of my daughter, is why I go so hard, because I literally want to just call her one day and be like, yo, here.
Can't wait, huh?
I can't wait to just be like, bro, like, this is yours, man. You've been rocking with me for this long. And I just want to show you that every single time that you put money in my pocket, or you just text me for no reason telling me how great I was, this is my payback to you. And I know she only cares about, like, for me to never quit. That's all she wants from me. But I want something better.
That fulfillment,
like, I want her to know, like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? So that person right there, like, I would give her my heart.
That's right.
For real. Like, outside of her, it's Brit. Like, she's always there. Like, if I feel like shit, or if I don't want to do anything, she knows me now. Like, she knows me inside and out. Like, today she was like, you good? And she was like, I'm good. And most of the time I don't tell her if I am or if I'm not. I just hold my own shit unless I need
doing that too.
A backbone, you know. But she'll be like, yeah, you seemed aggravated yesterday.
Right.
And you seemed aggravated today and yesterday, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I was aggravated as
shit. Than a motherfucker. Boiling up. No, I'm straight.
I was hot yesterday, bro. But that's how she is. She's like, yo, if I got it, you got it. Because I know if you got it, I got it, you know. And to have people like that, and just my team in general, like I said, I have a good 5 people that I'm surrounded by, that if I fall on my face, they gonna pick me up, which will never happen. But I know that I can have a weak point because I've had one in front of them. I suffer from depression. So I literally, right before our event, I went into depression, like, and it just happens. Like, I can't control it. And I was down, and I had these women around me that was like, you're going to be good. You're going to be good. You're going to be good. And they were able to take control when I couldn't. And I never had that shit before. Like, and it's sad to say, not even in my marriage, I don't know if I did. I never gave my wife a chance to show me if she could be my backbone or not, because I was just so strong-headed, right? And I'm like, this is my job. But now I'm a little bit more vulnerable. I've learned lessons, you know, to know that it's not bad to ask people for help, you know. So that's important, man, because we can't do this shit by ourselves. No matter how strong, no matter how powerful we think we are, you gotta have a solid backbone behind you, whether it's one person, 2 people, 100.
And you have to know when to be willing to defer. You mentioned that earlier with your
Still
friend.
Working on it.
That's like, and it's like, I call it the Allen Iverson syndrome, right? Like basketball reference.
Practice.
Real quick. Yeah, that part. Iverson was like, nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'm about to go out here and score 50. Nigga, I'm gonna pass it to you if you open. But he never won a championship.
Crazy.
Because of that type of mindset.
Yeah.
I'm about to go out here, get mine. I'm the man. I'm going to do my shit. I'm going out here scoring 50 and he was unstoppable. You could not guard Allen Iverson.
Right.
Not an option. But he never won a championship.
Facts.
Right. Damn. So at some point, the greats have to be willing to defer. Michael Jordan is not Jordan without Pippen. You know what I'm saying? Without his shooters, without Phil Jackson. You have to be willing to listen to somebody, learn from somebody, defer to somebody. So that's been a struggle for me. I'm not going to lie. That's been one of my hugest struggles within the past 3 years, to defer, to say, you know what? I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it right now. Like, and not only on a business level, but on a personal level, even today, that's still one of my biggest struggles because of the pride that comes with me feeling like I'm the man, so I have to be able to provide it. But when somebody is saying, no, you don't have to do that. I got it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
that's
you open
hard.
for the 3. Yeah, go ahead, take that.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
so
hard.
I think everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
We had a guest tonight that canceled last minute. But you know, you gotta trust the process, Murph. You gotta trust the process, Murph. And I'm so proud. I'm so grateful because I know a lot of really, really dope people. Yeah. And I think it's gonna really be a true testament in having people come on here and share their stories and their testimonies. Going to inspire a lot of people, right? But I'm just so grateful that I know dope ass people like you that are really, really out here walking in purpose and looking for the impact and not so much the money. Right. I listen to guys like Gary Vee all the time, and these are obviously multi-millionaires that's saying it's not about the money, y'all. It's not about the money. Right. Focus on the fulfillment. Focus on family. Focus on happiness. These are people who got what a lot of people in today's age is chasing. They got it. Yeah. And they're like, trust me, it's not about that. Like, that that money can't change the fact that I have depression.
Right.
Money can't change the fact that, my relationship with the mother of my child, so it just can't change certain things. So I want to just make that a point of emphasis and like, whatever it is that people out there doing, draw inspiration from this and just find the things that fulfill you the most. Find the things that make you most happy and most at peace, and just stay focused on that. That's safe to say?
Absolutely, man.
All right. So after every episode, or at the end of every episode of the Unselfish Behavior Podcast, that's right. If y'all tuned in, where the live at? If the live is tuned in, I know they can hear my loud ass. Follow Unselfish Behavior Podcast. That way you guys will be in tune and up to date on when we drop this episode, which should be next week, right, BV? We'll drop this next Sunday. Dope. We'll be dropping this episode right here next Sunday. If y'all want to stay in tune with that, follow Unselfish Behavior Podcast. You can also follow your main man, King Q, at IamKingQ_. And you can just stay up to date with everything that's going on with the podcast. So at the end of every episode, Murph, we like to allow our guests to look at this camera right here. Leave our audience with what we call an unselfish message for the audience. What's your ending, closing message to everybody? What you want them to know?
Damn, you should have told me so I could practice that before I came. I want people to know that no matter what obstacles come your way, no matter who tell you that you'll never win, no matter who don't believe in you, we all have a purpose in this life, man. And for you guys to find your purpose and follow your purpose and make a difference in this world. I feel like once we all show love to each other, that this world will be a better place. And that's what I'm here for.
Hey, we out. Look, good. Murph, it was a pleasure. Till next time, we're going to stay in contact. We're going to keep working. You know us. So you already know. Anytime. So that's a wrap for this episode, man. Unselfish Behavior. We out.